Hi, today we're going to understand how we can create PDF files on automation from a Notion form. As you can see in the background, I have got a caregiver contract form. So once a user fills in the entire details in this form and they click on submit, the responses go to the responded side in this particular database that I already have on my Notion account. I've already created two dummy submissions out of the particular form, and I'm looking to create PDF file on automation from these responses that gets captured over here. So as soon as a response gets created, I want to be able to create a PDF file out of that. For this, I'll be using a tool known as PDF Output, which will help me create PDFs on automation with the help of a Google document, and it requires a Notion database. You can create any documents that you require at scale, such as invoices, reports, contracts, any certificates, quotations, or whatever you need in your business. So let's click on Create PDF and quickly sign in to understand how this automation will work. So I will quickly sign in over here, and then we will see the rest of the steps, how the automation will work. Once you are logged in, you will be required to add the Notion database, which is this database in our case. Then I need to add a document which will be used as a template file to complement the database to be able to generate the PDF. And finally, we have all the properties of the Notion database appearing over here one below the other, which we can copy onto the document one by one, and then we can map the fields to create the PDFs on automation. So let us get started. So first is adding the Notion database. So let's click on add Notion database, and then I can add this database over here. So let me copy this entire database title that I have over here. So let me copy this. So once the database title is copied, let me go back and click on next. I have two options. I can go with the default template. So if you opt for the first option, it will create a Notion database on your account as a dummy database, which you can use for testing purposes. So this is used for testing use case, which I do not need. So let me click on select pages and add my own database over here. So let's click on select pages once again. Let me enter the database title over here. So I will just paste the database title, and you will be able to see the particular form appear over here. Let me click on this, and now my caregiver contract form is added. Okay. Notice how I copied the database title and added it over here inside the search pages. You do not need to add the database by selecting these pages that appears over here, because in this case the database will not be added correctly and your experience will not be smooth. So always ensure to add the database by using the search pages over here, which will make sure that your database is added correctly. Besides this, if your database uses any relational roller properties, so you are using, let's say, database A and database B as a relation property over here, you need to add the database A and database B as well inside the search pages along with the caregiver contract form. So make sure to add the main database, which is the caregiver contract form, and make sure to add any relational databases such as database A and B over here to be able to get the PDF file with relation and roller properties added to it. Okay. Otherwise, the relation and roller properties will not appear in the PDF file generated, and it will not be completely perfect. Okay. So having considered that, let's click on allow access, and now this will give access to the caregiver contract form, which we can use for the rest of the automation steps. So let's wait for a few seconds. If your database is not loading up over here, simply refresh it once or twice, and the database should be visible over here, which we can use for the automation steps. So it seems it has still not yet appeared. So let me refresh it once again. And you can even try to click on this reload database button. So now you can see the particular database is visible over here. Okay, so let me click on this. And now if I scroll down, you can see all the form properties which we have over here are visible one below the other in our use case. Okay, so you can see all the form properties are created over here. So I can use these properties and I can copy these properties onto the document live, which can be used for the automation steps. So let's add a document right now. Click on add Google document. I have two options. I can go with any existing document which I might have on a drive. So if you click on this, you will be asked to add any existing document which you already have on a Google Drive, but I do not have any document available for this. So I will create a demo document from scratch. So click on add demo document, and now it will quickly create your demo document with all the mappings to the properties done beforehand. Okay, so you can see all the properties that we see over here have already been mapped. So let me remove this part which I do not need. And if you see the placeholders, all the fields have automatically been mapped with the properties of the database that we have over here. So whatever properties you see in this particular form are automatically added over here inside this document. So anything that you see inside double curly brackets will be replaced with the values from the database one by one, and it will be created as a PDF file. So as an example, the caregiver address will be replaced from the caregiver's address that we see over here. And similarly, caregiver's phone number and all the fields will be replaced with the values that we have in the database. If you want to manually map any property, let's say you want to add employer's signature date, okay, or maybe employment details. So you can click on copy, it will copy the employment details. You can go to the document at any place and simply use Control V or Command V on your keyboard. Okay, so you can use the shortcut Control V or Command V and it will automatically paste the property onto the document for you. So you can copy and paste any properties onto the document and it will automatically create that placeholder for you. In my case, it has already been done with all the properties intact. I do not need to repeat that. And after that, I can define the PDF file name. Okay, so I can opt to define how my PDF file will be named from this values that we have in the database. So I want to define the PDF file as per the client name. Okay, so I will select client name from this drop down. So let's see the client name. So once it is selected, all the PDFs will be created as per the client name. Besides this, if you scroll to the right side of the database, you have these two additional columns, generate PDF and PDF file. If any record is set to ready to generate, the PDF file will be created for those specific records and it will be created right over here in the PDF file section. Okay, so make sure to mark the records as ready to generate whichever you want to create as PDF file. Once all these things are in place, let me click on download PDF and my PDF files will be downloaded directly inside the PDF file column, and as well as it will be downloaded onto the downloads folder. So you can see the first file is already out. It is created in the downloads folder and it is also saved in the PDF file column over here. So let me click on this and it will open up the PDF file and I can see all the properties of the document have been correctly mapped with the database values that we had over here. Okay, and it is already in place. Let me open up the second one. The second file also has all the properties intact. So we just created two different files with the properties of the database one by one and it is automatically generated over here. Okay, but the best part of PDF output is when the files are created, you can simply click on setup Notion automation and now this will automate this process of generating PDFs forever, which means you do not need to repeat the entire process what we just followed to create any more PDFs. Okay, once a user submits the response over here and it gets added onto the database, you simply need to mark the records as ready to generate and the PDF will be created right over here, which was our original purpose. So as soon as a response gets created, simply click on ready to generate and the PDF file will directly be created over here for your use case. This eliminates the need to juggle between PDF output and the database time and again to create a PDF file, as everything happens hands-free and it is created right over here. I hope this explanation was clear and helpful to you and you find purpose with this tool and you take advantage of this tool to create as many PDFs as you want. If you still have questions, just use this chat bubble at the bottom of the page and send me any message with your queries. I'll be able to take up any issues on that. You even can go to this contact section at the bottom of the home page and send me any messages with whatever issues you might be having. I'll be happy to take up issues on any use case. You can even book a free demo session if you want to get a complete walkthrough of this entire